नक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम सदाशिवसमारंभां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। तपोभिक्षीणपापानां शान्तानां वीतरागिणां मुमुक्षूणाम् अपेक्ष्योऽयम् आत्मबोधो विधीयते। So Hari Om, salutations to all. Atmabodha, we were seeing the negation of the gross body and subtle body, that how I am not in 31, 32 and 33 we saw. 32, it was to negate that I am not this gross body, dehanyatvat name janma. So birth, growth, decay, change, old age, all these are conditions of the body. I am the illuminer of the body, completely different. So that was said in 32. Then 33 said amanastvat name dukkha. So mind goes through raga and dvesha and bhaya, etc. Dukkha. We are the sakshi of that. So in us there is that presence which never gets affected no matter what happens to the body or to the mind or the intellect. We are not the pranas also. Aprano hi amana shubhraha. So gross body, subtle body is negated. Now this happens in the seat of contemplation, where one negates. And in daily life also one lives in that way, where one doesn't strengthen body identification. So body identification one has to reduce through service, through inspiring goal, where thoughts are not there about the body. We take care of the body as an instrument. So through seva, through sadhana, through sanyam, one trains the body and detaches from it. Same way with the mind also. To make the mind pure, to make the mind single pointed, those are the sadhanas to be done. Then we can understand that I am different from the mind. So it is not just a intellectual thought that I tell I am not this, I am not this. It is accompanied with certain changes in my attitude, in my behavior. Then we can internalize this. Now the cause of both these, gross body and subtle body, is what we call the Karan Sharir or the causal body. So this causal body constitutes the vasanas and the ignorance, the past tendencies and the ignorance. So 34 is to negate those. Nirguno nishkriyo nityo nirvikalpo niranjanaha Nirvikaro Nirakaro Nitya Muktosmi Nirmala. So Nirguna, the three gunas belong to the mind, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. And it is these three gunas which also affect the quality of our vasanas. If we have Sattvic vasanas, so right now we are doing satsang, that's an expression of Sattvic vasanas. If we have Rajasic vasanas, then the mind will want more and more extroverted enjoyments. If one has Tamasic vasanas, then one will indulge in procrastination, sleep, lethargy. So this, when we get time like this, it also helps to become aware of what are the deep-rooted tendencies that we have. Because now the compulsions which we generally give reasons and justifications, they are not there. That there is work pressure, or there is socializing pressure, or there is travel, and then there is whatever excuses we may be generally giving. Now none of those are there. So how does my mind respond? Am I able to live in a certain discipline? Am I able to learn something new? Am I able to do my exercises, my meditation, study, etc. properly? Do I follow a routine or not? So times like this will help us to become aware of what really is our temperament. And if one is sincere and honest enough, one will accept and one will start transforming. So these three gunas, sattva, rajas and tamas, they belong to, they influence our vasanas, and hence they influence our desires, thoughts and actions. The self is beyond the three gunas also. So he says nirguna. Nishkriya, the self is actionless, because action happens through the sense of doership, karta bhav. So a doer uses an equipment, karana, to do a karma. So karta uses a karana to do a karma. Self is beyond all the three, because the doer is in the intellect, the equipment is the body, and then the karma happens. All the three have already been negated. So nirgunaha, nishkriyaha, atma is enlivener of action as well as inaction, both. Like the light enlivens the presence of objects here as well as the absence. So in us there is one entity, which is the self, which never is affected by karma or karma phala. So nirgunaha, nishkriyaha, nityaha, that which is eternal, present at all times. Nirvikalpa, beyond all thought modifications. And Niranjana. So the word Niranjana is what indicates the negation of the causal body. Because Anjana means taint. Niranjana means taintless, blemishless. So these vasanas and ignorance is the main cause why we have certain types of desires. What makes people different from each other? In general, we say it is the thoughts which make people different from each other. But why are they thinking what they are thinking? That's because of the quality of their vasanas. Sattvic vasanas will manifest as sattvic desire, sattvic thought, sattvic action, sattvic result. Same way for rajas and tamas. But these vasanas are the causal body. They are not the nature of the self. And the vasanas also change. So causal body also changes. That's why here the word Niranjana means that the self is beyond causal body also. Nirvikalpo Niranjanaha. Nirvikaro Nirakara. It is changeless and formless. Nitya Muktosmi Nirmalaha. It is completely free at all times. It is never bound. So the feeling of bondage comes when the small I rises. The moment the small I rises, I feel I am Mr. So and so. Then I have superimposed limitations on myself. This feeling of bondage or liberation we don't have in the deep sleep, because the small I is not there. We don't have in the samadhi avastha. We don't have in a state where our ego has become unmanifest. Let us say we see some grand sight in nature and we forget ourselves. We don't feel bound. We don't feel limited. So this sense of bondage comes when limitation comes, ego comes. Self is always free, Nitya Muktaha. So this is one verse where one uses for contemplation, saying that this is my true nature. It is not talking about some other self. Nitya Muktaha Asmi, I am. Meaning each one contemplates. I am free from three gunas. Sometimes we feel very lazy. Sometimes we feel very extroverted. Sometimes we feel very calm. So we judge ourselves based on these gunas. Our self-esteem fluctuates based on these gunas. A seeker must know that no matter what guna the mind goes through, I am different from the three gunas. Nirgunaha. Now that doesn't mean ki, okay, that means I can become lazy, I can be indulgent, no problem. No. Because if the mind is in Rajoguna and Tamoguna, the mind cannot realize the self. So sadhana has to be done anyways to come to live in Sattva Guna. So the more I live in Sattva Guna, the more the mind will become quieter. That mind will be able to meditate steadily and wake up to the self. But irrespective of all the gunas, I should know that I am beyond the three gunas. I am not even Sattva Guna Pradhan. I am beyond Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, all three. Nirgunaha, Nishkriyaha. So much of our self-esteem depends on our actions, that if I get this right, then only I will be happy. That depends on the ego, that depends on the body, but those are not me. So why should my self-esteem go through fluctuation just because of the condition of the equipment? Body is able to do certain actions, mind and intellect have certain desires, so they are manifesting as actions. I have nothing to do with it. Today, one of the most difficult things to do is what? To sit quietly. Why today? In general itself it is there. But in general we have many other avenues of escaping, so we run generally. Right now the avenues to escape are less. So to sit quietly, even 10 minutes, doing nothing, one finds it very difficult. Why? Because one is very attached to action. I have to do something constantly. And hence one is addicted to karma. This is nishkriya. I am beyond action. Again, I am saying this is not to encourage non-performance of duty or laziness. No. It is to know that all this restlessness to do something, to feel better, is a conditioning in our mind. Because we have been brought up like that, because there are certain internal tendencies that we have, because we see the people around us doing, we always connect our self-worth to our work. But that is not true. Our nature is to be free from action, and restlessness is not our true nature, even as a mind. If restlessness was our nature, we would never be able to sit quietly, never. If restlessness was our nature, we would never be able to go into deep sleep, or go into meditation, or go into samadhi avastha. The very fact that we are able to do that means that restlessness is not my nature. So if I can, at the moment when I am restless, sometimes one has no control on that. One just becomes restless. At that moment, if I remind myself, I am nishkriya, why am I being so restless? For what? When my nature is to be calm and quiet. Then from that, if the action has to be done, there is no problem in that. A wise person always acts out of balance, not out of impulsiveness, not out of restlessness, not out of desperation. So nirguno nishkriyo, nityaha. How much fear of death is there in everybody's mind? What will die? Body will die. Body is anyway dead, even right now. The very fact that the body is appearing alive is because of the presence of the subtle body and the Atma reflecting it. Otherwise, body is by itself dead. There is no difference between this body and the inert things. It is made up of 5 elements only. So, more I think that my nature is immortality. Nitya. I exist at all times. Body comes, body goes. And we have taken how many bodies? By now, fear of death should have gone in us. Why? Minimum 84 lakh bodies we have taken. They say 21 days you do something, it becomes a habit. 84 lakh times you've already done it. Minimum 84 lakh bodies we have taken. That's why the analogy in the Gita is that it is like changing clothes. How effortlessly we change clothes. Any pain? No pain. No, Swamiji, that is clothes. Clothes are different. Body is different. Body is me. Clothes are not me. That's the point. I think of body as I, so I feel sad. Oh, body will die, body is going through disease, body will get corona. Corona or no corona, one day body is going to die. Why to live in fear? Have some precautions, do what needs to be done, and then forget about it. So one should not have that insecurity or that fear. Some reason or the other, this body is going to die. How many times you have already died and how many times you have already born, even as a jiva. And here we are talking about immortal nature of the self. So nirguno, nishkriyo, nityo, nirvikaro, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya. These are 6 vikaras. Atma is the illuminer of all these 6. It will never be affected by these 6. Like the screen never gets affected by any amount of violence seen in the movie. Because it is a substratum, nothing will happen to it. The mirage water can never make the sand in the desert wet. Same way, these vikaras, they come, they go. It is like our, let us say, what we call prepaid plan. A prepaid plan, what do we have to do in a phone? You have to recharge. If we don't recharge, what happens? Service is cut. If I don't recharge this mind with vikaras, it will just die. Simplest solution for anger, greed, jealousy, lust, passion, insecurity is what? Just stop feeding it, that's all. If I don't feed it, it will die. Because I am feeding it, it is sustaining. Why am I feeding? Because I think that there is something I have to gain out of it. Or because I feel I am being harmed, so then I have to retaliate. So it's a vikara. So mind goes through these. Atma doesn't get affected by it at all. And my nature is that pure consciousness. So Nirvikaro, Nirakara, it is beyond any form. Nirvikalpa and Niranjana. No thought modifications, no vasana pressure also. So in quiet moments, this is what I have to say. Nitya Muktosmi Nirmala. I am pure consciousness which is ever free, ever pure, never impure. So now these 3 verses have negated 32, 33, 34. They negate the 3 bodies. As I said, these are verses to be used in one's meditation. When the mind has become quiet, slowly I have to chant this and lift the mind to that state. So you can try, if you have not tried this before, you can try tomorrow or even today, anytime. Sit quietly, become aware of the body, then start breathing deeply, slow, steady and deep breath, and quieten the mind by observing the breath. Every breath that goes in and comes out, observe. Make it slow, steady and deep and observe. So to some extent the mind will become quiet. If you have been doing any mantra japa, then do the mantra japa. Further mind will become quiet. Now with such a quiet mind, repeat this verse slowly. Nirguno, nishkriyo, nityo. Now let the mind bring the meaning, that what is the meaning of nirguna, how I am nirguna, how I am nishkriya, how I am nitya. Then go to the next line. Nirvikalpo Niranjana, Nirvikaro, Nirakaro, Nitya Muktosmi Nirmala. What am I trying to do? Change the definition of this I. When I think I am Mr. So-and-so, I am this body, I am son of so-and-so, spouse of so-and-so, those are my self-descriptive thoughts about myself. I am trying to change them, saying I am not this, I am that pure consciousness which is Nirguna, Nishkriya, Nitya, Nirvikalpa, Niranjana, Nirvikara, Nirakara, Nitya Mukta, and Nirmala. So this has to be done in meditation over a period of time. So this will take 10 minutes. If you want to do for longer, you can do longer, but you can just do for 10 minutes. Sit quietly and then just chant these verses and bring the mind to that meaning, saying, I am not this BMI, I am that pure consciousness. If this happens regularly, steadily, slowly, the feeling that I am this will become weak. In the sense, the psychological feeling. Functionally, yes, you will know you are this and son of so and so. Don't get scared, oh, you will forget all that. No. Functionally, what memory has to be there, that will remain. But psychologically, the ego which is there, that will slowly become loose. It will disappear after some time. So that is the objective. Then what remains? That is called Atmabodha, the knowledge of the self. So these verses are meant for this kind of meditation. So continuing that ahead now. Ahamakashavat sarvam bahirantargatochyutah sada sarvasamashuddhah nissango nirmalo chalaha. So see, generally we think of ourselves as only from the top of the head to the toes. I am this form. Here it is said, Aham Akashavat Sarvam. I am like the space which is all pervasive. Inside, outside, Bahihi Antaha Gataha. The very meaning of Akasha means Avakashatvat Akasha. That which gives accommodation to everything is called Akash, in which everything exists. So suppose there is a pot. Now space is inside the pot, space is outside the pot, pot itself is in space also. So space is everywhere, inside, outside, around, up, down, everywhere is space. In the same way, we have to think this body is like a pot. Inside, outside, everywhere there is space. By space, what do we mean here? Self. Atma is everywhere. Like when we see in a dream, there are hills, mountains, rivers, etc. outside, and then there is a person. So the hills, mountains, rivers also are dreamer's mind only, and then the person also is the dreamer's mind. The thoughts in that person also are the dreamer's mind's thoughts. Everything is dreamer's mind. But when one doesn't know that, one thinks one is one small dream character, then one thinks that the dream character is different, dream world is different, dreamer is different. So that's what we are thinking right now. I am different, world is different, God is different, so I think I am only this much. Here he says, Aham Akashavat Sarvam Bahihi Antaha Gataha. All pervasive I am. Achyutaha, never falls. Chuta means to fall. Achyuta means never falls. You know, in the Gita, Bhagavan is addressed as Achyuta. When Arjun tells Bhagavan to place the chariot between the two armies, he tells him, Senayor Ubhayor Madhye Ratham Sthapaya Me Achyuta. O Achyuta, O Krishna, you please place the chariot between the two armies. There he addresses Bhagavan as Achyuta. Vedavyasji has written the name Achyuta there. Because Arjun is going to fall. Arjun is going to collapse now. But Bhagavan doesn't collapse. Never he will collapse. Achyuta. Our mind goes through up and down. Sometimes it is very happy, sometimes it is very sad, sometimes it is scared, sometimes it is insecure, sometimes it is extremely generous. It goes through ups and downs. So sometimes it falls, again it rises, again it falls. That is called Chuta. But Atma is Achyuta. Atma never falls. Meaning my true self is that which never goes through fluctuations. Our self-esteem can go up and down, but the self never goes up and down. So that is called Achyuta. Bahirantargato Achyuta. Sada sarva samashuddha. At all times I am equanimous. As the self, Sada Sarva Sama Shuddha, I am very pure. Nissangaha, I am completely detached. Nirmalaha, without any impurities, and Achalaha, motionless. So these are qualities of the self. Generally opposite of this is what we will know about our own individuality. So we will think we are limited. No, we will keep changing in our self-esteem. Any results we experience, we will have extreme responses. Self is sada samaha, equanimous at all times. Shuddha, extremely pure. Our mind becomes impure, our body has impurities, our desires can be impure, vasanas can be impure, but the self is beyond all impurities. So Shuddha, Nissangaha, we may feel we are attached, but actually our true nature is detachment. You see, even as a mind, as the self, of course, it is detachment, but even as a mind, detachment is our nature. Because our mind is made up of sattva guna. Those of you who remember tattva bodh, mind is made from sattvic, combined sattvic aspect of 5 elements. The nature of sattva guna is knowledge and detachment. So whether we like it or not, our mind will detach. Problem is we again pick up the attachment. So mind is very detached. But we go on bringing attachment into the mind and ruminating over it, so it becomes more and more attached. If detachment was not our nature, by now we would have gone mad. Why? Because we just can't drop a thought. Because detachment is not my nature. Very fact that we are able to drop a thought, we are able to let go, either voluntarily or by nature's mechanism. In deep sleep, we let go of all thoughts. However dear a person may be, an object may be, I have to let go and I will let go. So even as a mind, Nissanga is our nature. You see, generally what happens is we brood, oh, I am so attached. My attachment is my child, my attachment is my spouse, my attachment is this food, my attachment is that movie, something or the other we are attached to, and we might brood on our attachment. The more I brood on the attachment, the more I will become attached. So the solution is to remind myself to know, even as a mind, my nature is detachment. This is not to say that attachment I should allow to flourish. No, this is to say, if I strengthen this thought that my nature is detachment, why will I cling to something else? I am clinging to something else because I think happiness is there. But if I say that my nature is that sada sama shuddha, my nature is always to be calm and to be balanced, happiness is in a calm mind only. Happiness is the nature of the self also, as calmness. Shantam Shivam Advaitam, it is said. The nature of that consciousness is complete stillness and calmness. So as a mind also my nature is detachment, as the mind, as the self also my nature is detachment. Nissangaha. Nirmalaha and Achalaha. No disturbance at the mind level, no disturbance at the body level. When we try to sit for meditation, then we realize how much the body moves. We can't sit quietly. Something or the other it will do. Either it will keep rocking or, pull something, meddle with the asana. Something it has to do. It can't just sit quietly. That's why Gurudev used to say that people are given notepad and pencil or a pen in any conference, whether it's in a hotel or in any some conference, exhibition center or whatever it is. Why? Because if you don't give, they will scratch the table, they will spoil the table, the polish, the cloth, they will destroy that. Better give them paper and pen. Oh, keep on doodling. They'll doodle. While listening, they go on doodling something, they'll go and do it. But how to sit quietly? But body will be restless because mind is restless. So something has to be done. So now Nirmala and Achala. I am steady in body and in mind, both. As a seeker, Sattva Guna, when it comes, and I am steady as a seeker in the body and at the mind level also. And as the self, I am motionless. Because I am beyond body, mind, intellect. They have all changes. I don't have. So the more I remind myself, I am that pure consciousness already. I don't have to become anything. I have to only unbecome. I have to only drop what I am not. And that is the how to drop what I am not. Go on asserting who I am. All these are verses for that. Asserting who am I. Two more verses they come with similar thought. Nitya Shuddha Vimuktaikam Akhandanandamadvayam Satyam Jnanam Anantam Yat Param Brahmahame Tat. The same thought process. Nitya Shuddha Vimuktaikam. I am always eternal, pure, free, and I am one. Right now we don't feel I am one. Right now we feel I am many. So many roles I am playing. Even in that, I go through up and down. So many times my self-esteem goes up and down. So I feel I am good, I am not good, I am fine, I am not fine. That's why every few hours they go on asking, how are you? How are you? How are you? Why? Because morning I am fine, after 2 hours I am not fine, again afternoon I become okay, then I become angry. So I feel I am so many. Actually I am one only, pure consciousness. Nitya Mukta Vimuktaha Shuddha Ekam. Akhandanandam. There are no breaks and parts in me. Body has parts, thoughts have parts, feelings have parts. Atma has no parts. Akhanda it is. And what type of Akhanda? It is Akhanda Ananda. Unbroken bliss. All the other things that we experience, pleasure we experience at body level, that has break. First day of the lockdown, amazing. Such freedom, wow, wow, wow. I got mukti, I got free time, I can do what I want, I don't have to go out. Amazing. First day. Then second day, third day, very good. Then 21 day got over today. Now another 2 weeks. Now one is waiting, when will I come out of this place? Because law of diminishing return starts. Some meme I read that if the lockdown is not released soon, you will have all rishis walking all around. Because you will have people with long beards and long hair everywhere. So you will find all Atri and Vishwamitra, Vasishta, all of them are walking on the roads. But people want to go out. First sense enjoyment I have, amazing. First Rasgulla I eat, oh, so great. Third, fourth, fifth, so it starts deteriorating. 10th one, so there is pain now, I want to vomit. So pleasure we get at body level is what? It is very, very, very temporary. And that also is a conditioning in the mind. Just imagine that. If Rasgulla had pleasure, then everybody who enjoys Rasgulla should have pleasure. If somebody doesn't like Rasgulla, it's over. Even the first Rasgulla is a pain. So that pleasure is all mind born, that also. Pleasure at the body level has limitation. Pleasure at the mind level also. For how long is one happy? People are having major relationship issues. They can't stay with each other in their home. See the tragedy of human being. One puts so much of effort to build a house. Lifetime's effort to build a home. Now one has to stay in that home for 6 weeks without going out. It is a pain. Arey baapre, I can't go out. Arey, you built this house with full effort of whole life. Enjoy it. Stay here. No, I can enjoy now and then when I go out and come. Then I can enjoy. Yeah, just to stay here, I cannot enjoy. That's the mind. And people for whom one has, thought that I will spend such good time with them. Without this person, I can't live. Before marriage, and nobody was wanting us to marry. Now I fought with everybody. Now I got married also, and now after marriage, before marriage, without you, I am not happy. I cannot live. After marriage, with you, I am not happy. I cannot live. What is the condition of this human being? It contradicts itself. A human being contradicts himself only. So how much is that satisfaction in relationship that is going to last, or some mental, gratification? Very less. Intellectual desire, yes, it gives some satisfaction, sense of achievement, success, but how much? At the end of it, that question still remains, what next? At the end of it, I still feel something is lacking. What is lacking? I don't know, but something is lacking. So again, I try to fill my life with some pleasure, some object, some person, some achievement, to engage for some time, to escape from the sense of emptiness. After some time, I get again what I wanted. Again, there is one emptiness. This cycle will go on. This is called samsara. Bhavarog means this. Continuously there's thirst to become something, get something, go somewhere. And no matter how much I do, I will still remain like that. But the nature of Atma is exactly opposite. Akhandanandam. There is absolute bliss. Look at the lives of people who have experienced that state. There is no craving in their heart. If something comes, great. If it doesn't come, great. They live in that philosophy, what sometime back we must have discussed. It's called vow. Vow means what? With or without. With lockdown, you say vow. Without lockdown, you say vow. If Dudwala came in the morning, you got your morning tea, vow. If he did not come, vow. If spouse smiles at you, wow. If the spouse doesn't smile at you, wow. Swamiji, you can say, we can't afford to say. That is your problem. That I don't know. My point is, any situation I can learn to be balanced. If I know I am pure consciousness, what is there to worry? How much anxiety, stress, worry we go through because we identify with body, mind, intellect, and their fluctuations we think are my fluctuations. Akhandanandam, unbroken bliss is our nature. But today we are experiencing exact opposite. Unbroken misery is our experience, with here and there little glimpses of some pleasure. That's why Gurudev used to say, main course of the meal. So the main course in the meal is dukkha. And sukha is like a chutney. Now and then it comes. That's how one is living. If I identify with the BMI, that will be my condition. No, I will make my life most comfortable. Then that condition won't happen. Try it. So many times it happens. People who don't have so many comforts are much more happier than people who have all comforts. Yesterday only somebody was telling me, in one apartments, on Zoom satsang only I was doing. In that they were saying, in their apartments, people are pooling up together their orders. Somebody is ordering pav bhaji, somebody is ordering pizza, somebody is ordering some cake, somebody wants some gourmet, what is it called? I don't know what you call it, gourmet cheese or something, whatever that. One list they are making, and if that list crosses 10,000 rupees, that fellow will come and deliver all the food. Now they made all that list and they sent it out. And when that items came, out of some 30 items that were ordered, 2 items that guy couldn't provide. Now these guys who ordered those 2 items are feeling miserable. Arey, hamara order nahi aaya. Arey, There are people out there who don't have food, Baba. They don't have food, they don't have shelter. And right now we are in a lockdown situation. It's not some holiday maja that one is taking. Be grateful that you're getting something to eat and sit quietly at home. No. So that's the human mind, how it works. With everything also it may feel miserable. Without nothing also, with nothing also one may feel happy. It depends on what is the state of the mind. Here we are talking state of the self. Atma is ever in bliss, never in misery. So if I want to have that condition, where everybody wants that, and they lived happily ever after. All stories want to end with that. How will we live ever happily ever after? Only when I know the Atma. If I don't know the Atma, and they lived happily ever after, cannot happen. That line should be changed. And they lived happily for some time. Akhandanandam Advayam. Our nature is absolute bliss. Try doing little bit of japa and quietening the mind. The amount of bliss that one experiences in that state, just little the mind becomes quiet. How much happiness is there? Imagine the joy of somebody who has transcended the mind. It is said the bliss of Brahmaji, the creator, is the bliss of Brahmaji is the highest bliss. The bliss of Brahmaji is one drop in the ocean of bliss that this realized person experiences. Now that is the state which is our true nature. Forgetting that, one is running behind some petty, paltry, temporary pleasures in the world and feeling miserable if one does not get it. What is our true nature? Where we are? Being billionaires, we are begging in the world, please give me 1 rupee, please give me 50 paise. That is our condition. So Vedanta is telling us, shift the identification. Akhandanandam Advayam. Our nature is absolute bliss. What is there to be miserable? Akhandanandam Advayam. Non-dual nature is ours. And that Advayam Atma is described here as Satyam Jnanam Anantam. So this is a line from the Upanishad. Taittiriya Upanishad says this. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. That's why the word Brahma is used in this. Yat Param Brahma Ahameva Tat. Brahman means that infinite reality. The nature of that Brahman is Sat Chit Anand. The same Sat Chit Anand is, in other words, explained as Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. So our nature is pure existence, consciousness and bliss. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Yat, Param Brahma Ahameva Tat. I am that supreme bliss. And I am that alone. I am not the body, not the mind, not the intellect. So these are verses on contemplation. What will happen with this now? If I contemplate steadily like this, evam nirantarabhyasta brahmaivasmiti vasana haratya vidya vikshepan roga nivarasayanam. If I practice this continuously, evam nirantara abhyasta, not now and then. Meditation is the highest vocation. So it needs a lot of preparation. And every day it has to be done. Imagine if we have to do this for physical body fitness itself. Now, if the body has to be fit, what should I do? I have to regularly go to the gym. Some people say, that is why I don't go to gym, Swamiji, because if I go to gym, and I stop going, then I put on weight. So I don't go to gym. You stopped going to gym, that's why you put on weight, not because of the gym, because of your stopping. But they stop going, they don't go to the gym only. They say, no, because if I stop going to gym, then I will put on weight. That's because you are not burning enough and you are going on eating. So reduce the diet, go to the gym. Even for body fitness, one has to do that or not. And if you are under a plan of a dietitian, then you had it. Every meal, what you eat, what is the quantity, what time, everything you have to write down. Then they will check in your diary. And every week they will measure the weight. And everything that you eat, one has to count this much calorie, this much calorie. Because if I want to even maintain a certain weight, consistently I have to apply. Whether it is weight or whether it is fitness. Now, if at the body level, I have to apply consistently. What to talk about Atma? Consistently, I have to contemplate. So, Nirantar Abhyasta. One thing we should know, instead of practicing 1 hour once a week, it is better to practice 15 minutes daily. That's the power of practice. Some people are like that. They will meditate one day for 45 minutes to 1 hour. Next 6 days, gone. Same they do with exercise also and many other things. Consistency is very, very crucial, especially on spiritual paths. Whichever sadhana I take, whether I take meditation or japa or puja or bhajan or anything. What is important in this sadhana is, for nirantarta to be there in a sadhana, 2 things are necessary. This we can apply in anything, even in gym or even in diet or anywhere. One is there should be a strong desire that I want this. I want peace, or I want to know the self, or I want to reduce my weight, or I want to become fit, whatever is my goal. Every day I have to remind this is my goal. 1. 2, I should experience joy in it. I should start enjoying it. If I start enjoying it, I will automatically do. If I don't enjoy it, then it will be push. Come on, do it. You have to do it. You have to get up. You have to go do exercise. One has to push. Initially, one may have to push, but as one is doing and one sees the benefit, as one starts focusing the mind more in it, one will start experiencing the joy of it. Then the person will do it consistently. So Nirantarata means that evam nirantar abhyasta. Consistently, when I do this practice of contemplation, what will happen? Brahmaiva asmi iti vasana. I am Brahman, that vasana will arise. Why? Because I am continuously saying I am not this body, I am Brahman, I am not the body, I am that Brahman. So Brahmaiva asmi iti vasana, that vasana will rise that I am Brahman. And harati avidya vikshepan. It will destroy all the ignorance. Jiva bhav, jiva vasana will get destroyed by Brahma vasana. Roganiva rasayanam, like the disease is destroyed by the medicine. So what does the medicine do? Suppose somebody has a stomach ache because one has overeaten. Now one Sethji, he went to the doctor. That Sethji told the doctor, my stomach is paining a lot. So doctor said, what happened? He said, I went to this wedding and there such nice Shuddha ghee ka laddu were there, and daba ke kha liya. 50 laddu kha liya. So he said, what are you saying? He said, 50 to aise hi kha lete. By the way, earlier days, they used to measure a person's capability by the ability to eat Shuddha ghee ka laddu. Today they measure with how many pegs you can drink neat and stand without shaking. That is called Kali Yuga now. But earlier they used to say, "Arey, 100 laddu to hum aise kha jayenge." Shuddha ghee laddu, proper, and it will not be some small diet conscious made with this much. No, proper big size laddu. Even some of the saints, people used to, they used to compare. ये महात्मा जी तो 100 लड्डू खा लेते हैं, ये महात्मा जी तो 50 खा लेंगे, ये महात्मा 60 खा लेंगे, ये तो 200 की कैपेसिटी वाले. Like that they used to measure. So the Sethji had gone. He said 50 लड्डू खा लिए हमने, पेट में बहुत दुखता है. Doctor gave him some pills. You know what Sethji told? He said, "Arey doctor साहब, अगर ये गोलियां खाने की जगह होती तो मैं थोड़ा लड्डू ना खा लेता. I would have eaten one more half laddu. Why are you giving me pills? But what will the pill do? That laddu, if he ate, his stomach ache would have increased. But the pill, if he eats, then it will go and remove that whatever cause of his indigestion and all that is, and then slowly it will heal him. Then he will be able to eat more laddus. So that is the point. Aham Brahma Asmi. I am that Brahman is also a thought. But by continuously meditating on that, I am Brahman, I am not this, all the other thoughts will go away, and then this thought will disappear on its own. Person comes to realize absolute self. So, Harati Avidya Vikshepan, it will destroy all avidya. Roganiva Rasayanam. So, it is like the roga, which is destroyed by the medicine. So, now these are few verses, and what happens next is few verses now are on instructions for meditation, that how to meditate, what has to be done in meditation, what has to be done. So that we will take up in our next class. So in today's session, whatever we have done, anything to ask, anything to share, you are welcome.
Swamiji,
Haji.
The three gunas, the sattvic, rajvic, and tamas. So
Yeah.
they are not of the self, but they are state of mind. Then
Yeah. They are the nature of Maya, and then they influence the mind, because mind is born from the Maya. So Maya, if you know in Atmabodha we saw, Maya is Trigunatmika. Maya is the power of Brahman, and the power of Brahman, the nature of Maya is Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. And because everything is born from Maya, everything has Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. So 5 elements are born from Maya, so all 5 elements have Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. And from these 5 elements, our gross body, subtle body are made. So they also will have Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. And the actions and thoughts which we have in subtle body and gross body, they leave an impression on our mind. So that also will have Sattva, Rajas and Tamas.
So the Maya is also in your mind only.
Maya expresses in our mind as ignorance. So in the individual, when the Maya manifests, it is called avidya.
Oh.
And in the total, when it manifests, it is called Maya. And that avidya is the cause of the mind, vasanas, mind, intellect, and the body. So we say that that is the expression of Maya in the individual. So in simple terms, so if I have to remove all the technicalities of Vedanta, then Gurudev always used to say, mind alone at play is Maya. So if I transcend mind, I have transcended Maya, because mind is the only equipment through which I experience everything.
Yeah.
So that's how it is.
Swamiji, are we going to have more talks this month?
Let me check, I will tell you. Because what has happened is, everybody wants so many talks happening. Now people who are in other centers also, they have been asking for talks. I have been doing some talks. I actually wanted to sit and study the Shiv Puran and Bhagavatam and all that. वो तो मेरा हुआ ही नहीं. Every day I am doing three talks and then some meetings and this and that is going on. So Zoom, in that sense, Zoom has made my life more busier.
More busy, sir.
Because everybody is free, so they want some satsang. So let me come back to you. I will just figure out, and then I will ask you on the WhatsApp.
Yeah, because Swamiji, it really charges us all up, your talks.
Right.
Especially at times like this. Even
yes,
other
Swamiji, please, let's do some more classes.
Where are you? Outside somewhere? Hello.
Swamiji, she's outside the Lakshman Rekha, banner.
What I'm saying, where are you?
Came to buy some medicine. I'm going back home now.
Giving excuses, Guruji.
I can see Bombay from my phone. But they're damn particular, huh? 4 cops caught me.
Good.
Yeah, because down near my house, there's a case over there of coronavirus. So now there are 4 people, lots of cops are there. Nitpinsi Road. Yeah. Swamiji, but please let's do no class whenever possible. I mean, even if it's for a shorter period of time.
Yeah, I will come back. I will come back on that. Yeah.
Swamiji, everybody is praying so much and chanting, and India is a spiritual country. Is it not making any effect on COVID-19 or the whole country praying together or something for this?
Effect is there. That's why our cases are so less. Look at the other countries where they have gone. And now it will increase because our people, somewhere we lose the, what we call the self-control gets lost. To some extent, maybe certain measures should have been taken before. Let the migrant laborers should have been allowed to go home just in a day or two before the first session of lockdown happened. Because today again they all gathered in Bandra. How many of them gathered now? Suddenly now that's a big threat again. So anyway, prayers definitely make a big impact, but we also need to find the other solutions for it.
Swamiji?
Yeah.
Ayurveda is not evolving. It is an evolved medical science, right? Or a medical knowledge. Then won't Ayurveda have something to fight the coronavirus? Because it's supposed to be time pervasive.
No, see, the thing is, there are few things to understand here. One is Ayurveda and allopathy, they work on two different aspects. Allopathy works on standardization. So if there are 20 people who are patients, all of them will be given same medicine. So to do the clinical trials and whatever process to approve a medicine or a vaccine or anything is easier in allopathy. In Ayurveda, it is not like that. In Ayurveda, each person is treated according to their body composition. So Vata, Pitta, Kapha. And the Vata, Pitta, Kapha combination of each person also is very different. No doubt Ayurveda has proposed some solutions. Homeopathy also has proposed. But at the moment, the government has rejected all alternative medicines. Up to the PMO we have been. PMO said no, nothing doing, no alternative medicines. Right now there is no time to experiment. We will have to follow allopathy, because another thing is allopathy does not want any other parallel treatment even to happen. See, Ayurveda and homeopathy, both of them they tried. They even told the PMO that you should you continue your regular treatment. Just give us 50 patients to work on with our treatment side by side, not stopping the allopathy. But allopathy doctors said no, we cannot do that, because we don't know what will react with what and all that. So we cannot take that risk. So now the PMO has been very clear on that. You cannot, for treatment, no alternative medicines will be used. To boost your immunity, so through that Ayush ministry, they have been sending out many of these guidelines of how to boost your immunity. So there they have put Ayurveda inside it.
Okay. So if we follow those guidelines, it should help us. Those are not get affected by corona.
It will boost the immunity. That will help, no doubt. Those guidelines have come today. Also, it has come. Okay. There's set of guidelines which one can do. Like keep drinking warm water, have haldi and garlic, and do yoga, do pranayam, do many things. Simple things they are. They are general guidelines to boost immunity at any time. But social distancing, keeping away from people who are affected, all those things are very crucial, because these things can only help when we follow these guidelines. It is not possible that we will not get it because of those measures of immunity boosting, or if we get it, we will recover because of those. Those two are not happening. It will boost the immunity, and then whatever immunity is, that is a different matter.
Okay.
Hari Om, Swamiji. Thank you.
Namaste.
So, Hari Om.